right? Last but not the least, right, is Mr. Woojin Jong, who is going to tell us a little bit more about the Korean system and especially how it can be recognized in other countries, right? Possibly. So, Mr. Jong, if you can share for a few minutes your thoughts on this, that would be great.
Okay, I'm Woojin Jung, team leader of vaccination system management at Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency. It's an honor and privilege to introduce our national digital COVID-19 vaccination certification system to you today. Okay, Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, KDCA in short, is the only authorized issuer in Republic of Korea. Issued credentials must be stored in the secure area of a user's mobile device. Consider the global interoperability and to avoid complex system or database integration, code was built on the public blockchain and decentralized identifier system so that anyone can verify authenticity of the presented credential.
К использованию, чтобы можно было проверить.
Once the credential have been issued to a user, means and method of data exchange and presentation totally depends on the data owner's decision. Issuer, in this case KDCA, cannot know where and when the user was verified by the verifier. Every data, including digital certificate, is guaranteed by KDCA. Users can choose which data should be shared upon verification. Code requires vaccination information fields such as the manufacturer, vaccination data, and the vaccination series. Other personal information such as name is selectively provided. To check with the physical passport, code provides passport information including passport number and expiration date. By following international guidelines and considering security and stability of this system, about 10 or more countries, including Singapore, is planning on using Universal Resolver module to connect with COVE. And at the conclusion, a government only serves as a root of trust and infrastructure provider to provide convenience and ensure privacy. We do not hold or aggregate extra personal information. Also, by providing secure system, users can preserve ownership of personal and medical data. Technology with COVE is open to the public. Especially core modules have been donated by blockchain labs. They can provide proper technical support on need basis as well. Okay, thanks for sharing your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jung. I mean, for actually very short and to the point presentation. I just wanted to ask, I mean, you said you talked about COVE and efforts for the recognition in other countries, right? So, but I mean, I know you're designing it so that it can be recognized in other countries, but is it in practice? I mean, are the certificates, for example, being used for travel or when you go to other countries or something like that, or nothing of that sort here?
It is currently we are under development with several countries, and we are planning on in production mode within 1 or 2 months.
Okay, can you mention the name of countries, or is this secret?
We are closely working with Singapore, especially Singapore and other countries as well.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. This is very useful as well. Look, it's already 5 o'clock and we already passed the time, right? So I don't think we will take much longer. I saw that all the panelists and the presenters have actually done a very good job answering all the questions. So there was many questions and there is very few pendings. So I think this is good. If we can try and have all the open questions answered to the extent possible. That would be excellent. But let me, I think, wrap up briefly, right? In terms of what we are going to do next is, this is really a learning experience. I learned a lot during this workshop. This is not, again, one of our areas of usual work. We work a lot on digital certificates, but we work on digital certificates for trade in goods, coming from the trade facilitation paperless trade angle, right? So we see a lot of similarities. But this is even more sensitive because we are talking about movement of people, right? And we're talking about data, personal data. Right? So there is a lot of things that have to be, additional things that have to be considered. A few things I take away from listening to so much information today, right, is I think number one, it's quite important to understand what is the COVID-19 certificate for, right? Is it for healthcare? Then that makes things very complicated. Or is it just for freedom of movement and travel? Right? So I think focusing on freedom of movement and travel makes things a lot simpler. And I think that was one of the things that came up quite a bit. Right? Second thing is I think it's very important that there is consistency with the WHO guidance. Right? This remains a central source of international standards in the issue. So to the extent possible, whatever system being developed should be based on the WHO guidance and standards. The third thing that I heard several times is the importance of offline verifiability of the certificates, right? Which is something, again, that has some technical connotations, but something that really needs to be kept in mind in terms of developing system, right? So that certificates can be verified offline. And then the third thing, and that relates to some of the comments, the fourth thing relates to some of the comments made in the opening as well, is that it's very important to ensure that the certificates, the digital certificates, right, don't become a barrier to entry, right? So it's important that anybody can still cross the border without having such a digital certificate. So really, digital certificates are supposed to be a facilitation tool, but don't become a barrier. So I think on that note, what we will do is we will circulate. I hope you really found the workshop useful. And then we will circulate questionnaires probably tomorrow at this point, asking you to your feedback and also asking you if you have any suggestions on possible follow-up workshops or events where you would like to get more information. So thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate again all the speakers and the panelists who shared really their unique expertise. It's still very rare. This kind of expertise at this point, because the type of tool that we are talking about is relatively new, and so I appreciate their time, and also in particular Lucy Young, because I know from her side, I think she's based in Canada, so it's 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning. So thank you very much, Lucy Young, for joining us, and sorry to have rushed you a little bit towards the end. So thank you again, and also to my team and Sohi for excellent organization of the event. Bye-bye.